Grand Rising, beautiful souls in this world, cause you don't know we are not of this world. Cool to be able there, you don't know the tinga already. Here we are, grand and rising on this wonderful Wednesday rising, okay? Y'all, let's jump right into this one, all right? So being in the entertainment industry, like music, production and everything, like I realized like God is literally a behind the scenes kind of God. And I mean, we know that overall in bigger spectrum, but when you dive deeper, right? You know how you got the engineers that you don't see their face on the front of the cover of the song, or the producers that's editing the movie and all that. You don't see their faces. Sometimes you really barely hear their names unless they're being recognized for what they do in X, Y, and Z. And it dawned on me, like, that's how God is. God is behind the scenes. Like, God is a big producer. Okay, you hear me? Like, he's behind the scenes doing this fantastic work. And sometimes when it comes to music or even editing a video or something, when it's being produced, you don't see or hear the greatness of what it is going to be, right? You hear bits and pieces, you hear what could be perfected, you hear what could probably sound better if you do X, Y, and Z. That's what you hear. You don't hear the outcome. You don't hear the great song or movie that is going to become. Right? And so I just wanted to remind you guys, like, God is behind the scenes. God is producing behind this. But guess what? We also have a job in this production too now, right? A lot of us feel like we just need to sit down and just have faith and wait on God. Don't get me wrong. Have faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So what you don't see yet in your life, but you know is for you, yes, you have faith for that, right? Faith is the currency. That's how you pay for what's yours, right? With your faith. But on another note, faith without works is that I love how God, he gives us the blueprint. Like he said, you gotta have faith. You cannot please me without faith. That's the currency. But then he goes a little bit further and say, well, you ask, how do I use my faith? Well, then he goes further and say, well, you gotta put some work behind your faith. Because if you have just faith and you don't have works moving in accordance with that faith, is dead. All of that faith that you so-called have is dead, which means it's not working on your behalf, which means it's a counterfeit. You know how you give a $20 bill and then they looking at it to see if it's a counterfeit? Yours going to show up as counterfeit. Your faith going to show up as counterfeit, because if you're not putting works to your faith, it is dead, thus saith the Lord. So we have work in this production too now. We gotta put our hands to the plow too now. We gotta do some type of editing and all this stuff too now. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, when the enemy, because let me tell you something, the enemy gonna try you. When you are putting your hands to the plow, you're gonna get tried. You're gonna get and let me tell you how God allows it. And a lot of people just can't comprehend, why would God? First of all, you gotta look deeper. Maybe God is allowing, because God either will let something happen or he would allow it to happen. God, he probably sees, and when he gave it to me like this, I was like, oh, he probably still sees some type of built up thing. For example, pride, built up bitterness, built up, he probably sees some type of built up thing that is unpleasing to him in the kingdom work that you have to do. So he gotta try you, or allow you to be tried, so that could come up out. We think things happen to us because sometimes, the enemy attacking me. Sometimes God is putting things into place because he needs you to come up out of certain things. He needs you to be released from certain moods, certain habits, certain, anger, fear, anxiety. He needs you to be released from all of that, because sometimes your kingdom work, you can't be bringing none of that to the kingdom work. Right? So sometimes this is how God moves behind the scenes, y'all. We gotta tap in. So I just want to encourage you, okay? Remember Romans 8:28. All things. God allows all things to work, okay? It could be something that the enemy thought he schemed up. No, God allows all things, the good, the bad, the ugly, okay? He allows all things to work together for your good. because you love God and because you are called according to his purpose. So let it work for your good. Don't get discouraged. When you're being tried, don't get discouraged. Look at Joseph. If Joseph was here to testify today, he would say, oh, but it wasn't fair. My brothers dropped me in a pit and sold me. My blood brothers sold me for slavery and left me there in a pit to die. Just when I thought my life was getting better and I got a job and all these things, here comes my boss's wife lying on me that I raped her and I didn't touch her. And then I get sent to jail, to prison for something I didn't even do. And then when I try to help and share what the gifts God gave me, share the dreams and the visions and everything, they forgot about me, left me in prison 2 more extra years. Yo, can you imagine? But then Joseph, I can assure you, will go on to say, but it all worked for my good. But it all worked for my good because then God allowed me to be the hand to feed those very same people. My God. And I bet you Joseph didn't see none of that coming. None of who Joseph became king. None of who and what Joseph became. Joseph didn't see none of that while he was going through being sold, while he was going through being accused, while he was going through being in prison innocently, while he was going through being forgotten. But God didn't forget him. So remember that all things, no matter what it looks like, works together for your good. Okay? For your good. You will come out. And you will come out as a child of God. And guess what? God's glory will reign on you because he needs to get the glory at the end of the day. The beginning, middle, and end of the day. So because God knows he's going to get his glory, guess what? He's going to use your life. He's going to use your life for that. Do not be discouraged, beloved. And put your faith to work. Don't just sit down and say you have faith. Put your faith to work. It should be fruit, right? God should be able to see fruit from the faith that you have. Amen. So I love you guys so much. Big up and bless up yourself. Make sure you go to the website www.cp17visions.com. Stay tuned for Coolie Baby Express's podcast season 3, dropping in January every first Saturday and every third Saturday. I love you guys so much. Listen, put your faith to work and be encouraged, even when you test it and try it, because it's all gonna work out for your good. I can pinky promise you that. I love you.